everyone, I'm Camila Elguiata with Volunteer Manitoba, and Buffy has come by. We were just chatting about the new workshop that we're creating. It's the first time we're ever offering something like this, and I'm here with Buffy to talk a little bit about it. And you're probably curious what kind of workshop it is, but we'll get to that in a moment. First, I'm just going to get Buffy to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Buffy Davey. I'm a marketer by trade. I'm a community builder in my heart. That's my thing. I think we don't have strong enough communities around us, and that's really at the heart of everything we're doing. And community is what led me to what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
I used to volunteer with a lot of small grassroots organizations.
Yeah.
And they all needed to reach more people. That might sound familiar.
Yes.
And
I feel like for lots of nonprofits.
Right?
Yeah.
And so then I just started fooling around with trying to help people do their marketing and get online, and figured out that I really liked it, and things grew from there.
I love that you've got that community building and marketing. Like, the combination of those two things is really important for our nonprofit sector.
Well, because I think that we all want to form groups of people around us that are interested in the same things that we're interested in, that believe in the same things that we believe in, but it's really hard to do that if you can't reach people.
Yeah.
So I think they go together really nicely.
Well, and so how do we reach people? We're using social media, and maybe this is giving a clue on what this workshop is all about. We're talking about social media advertising.
Yes.
What is that?
Well, you could think of social media advertising as putting a megaphone in front of your message. It's not going to change what you're saying, but it can get it to spread a little bit further. So social media has been such a godsend for nonprofits, right? It put us in the sort of personal orbit and sphere of our audiences without this sort of middleman or needing to sort of make things super professional. But it's a really noisy place to be. There's a lot else that's going on, and your post about whatever event you've got going on, or your new initiative, or whatever you might be doing, is going up against posts from people's friends and baby announcements and like super funny memes and and businesses that have tons of resources at their disposal, and it's really easy to get lost in the noise. So I mean, there are great things that we can do without paying any money to help with that, to make sure that our message is really clear and we know who we're talking to. But once we've done some of those things, it can be super effective to put a little bit of a megaphone in front of our voice and make sure that we're reaching the people we want to reach and that we're reaching enough of them to actually move the needle.
Totally. And so this is kind of why we decided to do a social media masterclass in advertising. Can you give a little insight on what this workshop's going to be about?
Totally. So the amazing thing about advertising on social media, especially for nonprofits, because we're so resource strapped and we have so limited in what we have available to us, is that it can put you in front of exactly the right people. So you can be really targeted about who you want to talk to, which is something we don't get the chance to do in like a lot of more traditional forms of advertising. And it's cheap.
This is something that I learned from Buffy. It is actually really cheap to do.
It's so inexpensive. You can move the needle. You can make a difference with like $20 or like $30. And like that's actually a budget that nonprofits can usually figure out, as opposed to, again, traditional forms of advertising, which is just a whole other thing to chew. So to be able to approach something and say, hey, we know who we want to talk to, we can get in front of those people with like quite a large amount of specificity, and then we can actually do it for like $20 or $30 or maybe $50 on a big project. So we're going to talk first a little bit in our workshop about what do we do before we put the megaphone in front?
Yes. Some of the basics, some of the foundations.
Well, we're going to be beyond foundations. I'm trusting that everybody knows how to post, but we're going to talk about, again, it's a noisy space, social media. So even with advertising, the better your message is, the more it's aligned with the way that social media works and what social media does well, the further it's going to go, even with money behind it.
Okay.
So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we can do first to set ourselves up for success if we're going to advertise. And then we're going to move into say, okay, now we're ready. We're ready to put that megaphone in front. what does that look like from a logistical perspective, from a technical perspective? It can be super overwhelming. If you guys have dabbled into like meta ads before and you get into that, suddenly you get into that back end, that ad space, and there's like a big spreadsheet in front of you, and it can look really overwhelming. So what do we need to know to get started? How can we get started as easily as possible? And then if we want, it's a masterclass. So if, once we're ready and we want to start to grow, how do we do that in an effective way? How do we tackle that scary back end that looks so overwhelming and make it all feel a little bit more accessible for everyone?
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited. I hope you all are too. You can join us, join Buffy and I on March 24th. It's from 9 to 4 in person, our social media masterclass in advertising for nonprofits.